You know that feeling, right? That frustration when you're trying to speak English?
Hmm.
It's like you've put in the hours, maybe years, studying grammar, memorizing words.
Yeah, all the lists, all the rules.
Exactly. But then when you actually need to speak, the words just, they don't come out.
It gets stuck somewhere.
Right. You understand others fine, you can read, no problem. But speaking feels like hitting a wall. It's super common, that gap between understanding and expressing.
Incredibly common. We hear it all the time.
Well, here's something interesting. What if I told you that after working with over 100,000 students globally,
That's 1 lakh students. A huge number.
a massive number, and out of that, a really specific, almost, counterintuitive method started to
Yeah,
emerge?
it wasn't the usual stuff.
Not at all. Not more drills, not more vocabulary lists, this thing.
Yeah.
It didn't just tweak their English, it genuinely transformed their fluency, and maybe more importantly, their confidence.
Confidence is key.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it's not the textbook advice you hear over and over. This feels, well, it feels real, proven, something that actually unlocks speaking. Okay, so let's really unpack this today because what we're diving into, it promises a path to speaking English more naturally, more confidently, maybe in a way you haven't expected, making it, well, more interesting to actually use.
And what's so fascinating, I think, is how this deep dive is going to shed light on this powerful, maybe unconventional method. It really shifts your whole approach.
So what can people expect?
Well, we're going to talk about the single biggest mistake most learners make. That's huge. Then we'll get into the core method. Listen, speak, reflect.
Simple steps.
Deceptively simple. Then we'll look at the power of repeated patterns, something often missed. We'll share results from, thousands of students who use this.
The proof.
Exactly. And crucially, we'll give you a concrete daily plan you can start, like today. It's basically a roadmap to transforming your conversation skills.
Right. Let's jump straight into that biggest mistake then, because it really does go against the grain, especially how many of us were taught.
Mm-hmm.
Most learners, and maybe this sounds familiar to you listening, they spend so much time on passive study.
Right, the memorizing, the reading.
Yeah, vocabulary lists, complex grammar rules, textbooks, thinking that somehow just absorbing all this information will magically make them fluent speakers. Like you need to know everything first.
And that right there, that's the critical point. Speaking a language. It isn't like history or math, where you just gather facts.
It's not knowledge-based in the same way.
Exactly. It's a performance-based skill. That's the shift. That's the aha moment for so many people. We're just so wired to think learning means collecting information.
But language is about doing.
It's about performing, interacting, not just knowing.
That is such a powerful distinction. It really challenges how we think about learning. So if someone's been stuck in that passive study mode for years, focusing only on grammar and words, what's the first mental block they need to get past? How do they stop waiting to be perfect and just start?
Well, the biggest hurdle is really letting go of that need for perfection before you act. It's about accepting that mistakes aren't, failures. They're just feedback.
Like data points.
Exactly. Think about it. Nobody plays the piano
Oh.
perfectly the first time, right? Or scores a goal without missing a few shots first.
Makes sense.
You learn by doing, by getting that feedback from your actions, and then you adjust. So the mental shift is moving from, I have to know it all perfectly before I speak, to something like, okay, I'm going to speak. And through speaking, I'll learn and get better. It's active. It's iterative.
That analogy with sports or music really makes it click. Like, you can read every book on swimming, watch hours of Olympic cyclists, know all the theory.
Know the physics of balance,
Mm-hmm.
but you won't learn to swim until you actually get in the water and start moving. You'll splash around.
Yeah, you'll splash, maybe swallow some water, flail a bit. Or with a bike, you won't learn until you sit on it and pedal, even if you wobble and fall. Reading doesn't teach the feel.
Precisely.
And it's the exact same thing with speaking English. Fluency doesn't come from just passively absorbing stuff.
Yeah.
It comes from active use, trying things out, making mistakes, noticing them, trying again. So the biggest mistake really is just waiting.
Waiting. That's it.
Waiting for grammar to be perfect, waiting for enough vocabulary, waiting until you feel ready.
But fluency develops through the speaking, not before it. The more you speak, even imperfectly, even if it feels awkward,
Yeah, that awkwardness is part of it.
the faster you improve. It's like taking that leap into action.
So what does this actually mean for you listening right now?
It means, fundamentally, you might need to shift your approach. If you've been mainly studying about English, it's time to redirect that energy.
From accumulation.
Right, from just gathering facts to application, actively using what you learn. That's where the magic really happens.
And this leads us perfectly into what we're calling the secret method, the one refined from working with all those students.
100,000 students, yeah.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because it actually boils down to just 3 powerful, almost deceptively simple steps. A loop, really. Listen, speak, reflect.
Sounds easy, doesn't it?
Almost too easy. But its effectiveness is, well, pretty staggering.
So the first step is listen intelligently.
Right.
And this isn't just having English on in the background.
Right, not passive listening.
No. It means actively choosing short clips, maybe a scene from a movie, a quick interview bit, a podcast segment, where people are having real, natural conversations.
Okay, short and real.
Exactly. And the goal is to listen actively, not just for words, but for the tone, the rhythm, the intonation, the emotion behind the phrases.
Picking up the music of it.
Yeah. You're trying to catch those phrases native speakers actually use. Things like, let me think, or sounds good to me. I'm not sure, but maybe. Maybe. You know what I mean?
Everyday stuff.
Totally. Listening like this actively, it trains your brain to process and eventually to think directly in English instead of that constant slow translation from your native language.
Yeah,
That's where a lot of the struggle is.
that makes sense. Avoiding the translation trap. Okay, so that's step 1, listen intelligently. What's next?
Step 2, speak daily in short bursts. And this is where the action comes in, the part people often hesitate on.
The performance part.
Right. Don't wait for perfection. Don't wait for the right time or the perfect person to talk to. Just speak right away. Even if it's only for, say, 2 minutes a day.
2 minutes, that's it.
That's enough to start building the habit. You could talk to a mirror, record yourself on your phone, chat with a friend online, maybe.
Okay, practical options.
The key is to actively repeat the phrases you picked up in step 1. So if you heard someone say, I totally agree with you, you practice that
Out loud.
out loud. You could even just say to yourself, okay, I totally agree with you. I could use that when I agree with my teacher or my friend. Even that self-talk, it feels maybe a bit weird at first,
It probably does.
but it builds real fluency. It's like those first wobbly pedals on the bike.
Yeah.
You're building that muscle memory.
Got it. Listen, then speak. What's the 3rd step?
Step 3, reflect, review, and improve. Now, this is crucial, but often skipped. At the end of your practice, or maybe end of the day, you take a moment.
Just pause and think back.
Exactly. Ask yourself specific things. What did I actually speak today? Which phrase was new or felt a bit tricky? Do I feel any more confident using that phrase?
Checking in with yourself.
Yeah. This reflection is incredibly useful. It helps your mind organize and consolidate what you learned. It helps lock those new patterns into your memory.
Ah, so it helps make it stick.
Definitely. And it prepares your brain for better output the next day. It closes that learning loop. Listen, speak, reflect, then repeat.
Listen, speak, reflect. Okay, that makes a lot of sense as a cycle. Now, you mentioned something about repeated patterns earlier. How does that fit in?
Ah, yes. The power of repeated patterns. This is often overlooked, but incredibly powerful. See, fluent speakers, they don't build every single sentence from scratch, word by painful word, applying every grammar rule consciously.
That sounds exhausting.
It would be. And incredibly slow. Instead, they rely heavily on familiar chunks of language or common sentence starters.
Like pre-made phrases.
Exactly. Think of them like building blocks or ready-made puzzle pieces that just fit together smoothly. It's like finding a cheat code for speaking more easily.
Okay, I like the sound of cheat codes. Give me an example.
Sure. Think about a simple starter like, can I... From that, your brain can quickly pull out, can I help you? Can I try this? Can I ask something? Can I get a coffee?
All right, branches out easily.
Or take, I'm not sure. That naturally leads to, I'm not sure what to say, or I'm not sure if that's right, or I'm not sure about that. So
Yeah.
by learning and practicing these common patterns, these chunks, you seriously reduce the pressure on your brain. You're not constantly constructing everything from zero.
You're recalling and adapting instead.
Precisely. Recall is much faster than construction. It feels more natural. Your speech flows better. It's like building with prefabricated walls instead of laying every single brick yourself every time.
And this is the real magic, isn't it? This process helps your brain stop translating everything.
Yes, that's the goal.
Because you've practiced these natural chunks, you start to actually think in English more directly.
That's where real fluency kicks in.
So it's not just about knowing thousands of individual words.
No, not at all. It's about using these natural repeated expressions confidently. When you get comfortable with these patterns, your speaking doesn't just become correct. It becomes, well, interesting, natural, engaging.
Which brings us back to the students. You saw this work for 100,000 people. That's some serious proof.
It really is compelling. When we introduce this listen, speak, reflect, approach, focusing on these patterns, something remarkable happened.
Tell us about them. What were they like starting out?
They came from all sorts of backgrounds. Some were, real beginners struggling to put a sentence together. Others had studied for years.
Knew the grammar but couldn't speak.
Exactly. Stuck. But the common thing, a real lack of speaking confidence. Many would just freeze up, stumble, or avoid speaking English altogether, even when they knew the words.
In there.
Yeah. But after consistently applying this method, the transformations were honestly incredible to watch.
Like what? What changed?
We saw students who used to dread speaking suddenly volunteering answers in class. They stopped being paralyzed by fear of mistakes.
They embraced the mistake.
They started seeing them as learning chances. Instead of avoiding English, they began using it in real life, with friends, colleagues, even strangers.
That's huge.
We had one student share how they finally felt okay ordering coffee in English, a massive step for them. Another said work meetings went from anxiety-inducing to, well, normal, because they could actually contribute.
Wow.
The most common feedback was just feeling more relaxed, more natural, more engaged. They weren't just learning English anymore. They were starting to live in it.
Living in English, I like that.
It became clear pretty quickly. Once they committed to that daily, short, meaningful speaking practice using this method, their fluency just took off, much faster than with the old ways.
Faster than just studying.
Way faster. They weren't just understanding, they were using it naturally, daily. And this is so important for you listening. If over 100,000 people, with all their different starting points and challenges, could make this work.
Then you absolutely can too.
You can. But the key is consistency. Not perfection, not hours and hours, just that daily effort, even if it's small.
Okay, so let's make it super practical. How does someone start today? Because that's what matters, right? Making it actionable.
Exactly. No special tools needed, no expensive courses, just you, your focus, and a bit of consistency.
All right, lay it out for us. The daily plan.
Step 1. Choose a short video or audio clip, like 1 to 2 minutes. That's it.
Short and sweet.
Yeah. Movie scene, podcast bit, YouTube short.
Yeah.
But make sure it's real conversational English. Not stiff textbook stuff,
Yep.
natural interaction. Spend maybe 3 to 5 minutes on this.
Okay, find a 1-2 minute real conversation clip. Got it. Step 2.
Step 2, listen actively and write down just 2 or 3 natural phrases from that clip. Not single words, remember, but chunks.
Like, you know what, or that makes sense.
Perfect examples. Or, I'm not really sure. Could you give me a hand?
Hmm.
Note how they're used, the context, the feeling. Don't just list them. Kind of feel them. Another 2, 3 minutes maybe.
Okay, listen and grab 2, 3 useful chunks. Step 3.
Step 3. Speak those phrases out loud. Really speak them. Repeat each one at least 5 times.
5 times, okay?
And don't just say the words. Try to copy the rhythm, the tone. Mimic the original speaker.
Get the music right.
Exactly. Were they asking something? Surprised. Try to capture that. And if you can, record yourself.
Ooh, the recording part can be tough but useful.
It feels awkward, maybe even funny at first. But hearing yourself is one of the fastest ways to improve. This is your active performance practice. Embrace it. Maybe 3, 5 minutes here.
All right, speak the chunks, copy the sound, record if possible. Step 4.
Step 4 is where the brain really starts shifting. Use those phrases in your own sentences.
Ah, make them yours.
Yes, this is where you start really thinking in English, connecting the pattern to your own life. So if you learned, I guess so, don't just repeat it. Say, I guess so, but I'm still thinking about it. Or I guess so, if that's what you want.
Integrate it.
Exactly. Push yourself to use it. Own it. Another 2, 3 minutes.
Okay, use the phrase in my own sentence. And the final step.
Step 5. Reflect at the end of the day. The crucial review. Just take a minute or 2.
The cool down.
Kind of. Ask yourself, what new phrases did I actually learn and speak today? Which one felt new or tricky? How did it feel using English out loud? Even a tiny bit more confident.
That self-awareness piece.
It's so powerful. It helps you see progress, celebrate the small wins, keeps you motivated, and make sure you keep growing day by day. Just a quick mental review or jot it down.
So, find a clip, grab phrases, speak them out loud, use them yourself, reflect. That's the loop.
That's the core loop. And it truly doesn't matter if you're a total beginner or more advanced, but stuck. This plan works.
For everyone.
For everyone. All it needs is that minimal time, maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day, but consistently. The impact on your fluency can be, well, genuinely life-changing. It's about the habit, not heroics.
So the message is, start today. Like right now. Find one clip, learn one phrase, say one sentence out loud.
One small step.
And pretty soon, you could be speaking English way more confidently, more naturally, more interestingly than you ever thought possible.
Absolutely.
So wrapping this up, what's the main takeaway?
I think it's, don't chase perfection. Chase progress.
Yeah.
Use that listen, speak, reflect method consistently, even just for 10 minutes a day.
And maybe the most empowering idea, don't wait for confidence before you speak.
Speak to create the confidence.
Confidence follows action. Love that.
So maybe a question for you listening is, what personal fluency goal, big or small, could you actually unlock if you consistently applied this shift in thinking starting today?
That's a great question to ponder and maybe a more immediate challenge. What's one phrase you picked up just now from this deep dive that you want to try and use this week? Think about it. Then make a little plan to actually say it out loud to yourself, to someone else, even just once.
Take that small step.
Take that small, brave step.